everybody. Dr. Lance Burns is our special guest from St. Vincent Medical System today. We're glad to have you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Of course, there are many reasons for colorectal surgery, but a lot of people think of colorectal cancer first.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times what we deal with a lot, but there's a lot of other things that we deal with in the clinic. Obvious things of benign or hemorrhoids, anal fissures, things like that, and also we deal a lot with pelvic floor dysfunctions for women, colonic inertia when people can't go to the bathroom. So there's a lot of things that we deal with.
Okay, very good. Let's see what people want to ask you about today, and we're going to start off with Gail, who's from Bryant. Hi, Gail.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My husband has been recently diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and he's been real ill, and they are giving him like 270 pills a month to get him in remission. What can we expect over the years to come? Does it progress into cancer, and what rate do you think we have of that turning into cancer?
Well, it's a good question. A lot of times it depends on the time that he was diagnosed, but if he is real sick right now, sometimes if the disease does not regress, he may need surgery. So that's something that you're going to have to talk about with your gastroenterologist. But it sounds like he's right now having a tough time with the ulcerative colitis. It can be a bad disease. There is some good surgical options for it if it does become bad enough that surgery is thought about. The surgery would mean removing all of the colon and all of the rectum and having to make a new rectum out of small bowel. So it's quite a long procedure, but people do quite well with it.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the call, Gail. Let's get to John, who's right here in Little Rock. Hi, John.
Hey, Belinda.
Hi.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Hey, I just had a question. My father was actually diagnosed with rectal cancer this week, and I was just wondering, is a CT or MRI not a common exam to do on a patient expecting to have surgery to remove a tumor?
Yeah, typically we do actually look at CT or MRI because sometimes when someone does have a cancer, sometimes the cancer can spread depending on the stage, and a lot of times that does go to the liver, and you also would like to know the local area around the tumor itself to see if it spread into the pelvis. So a lot of times we do use radiologic studies such as CT and MRI. That is true.
So it sounds like they're right on track with what they should be doing.
Yeah, they should actually be getting the workup. A lot of times the CT, sometimes MRI, and then lab work. And then it all depends in the rectum where the cancer is, whether surgery is first started or chemotherapy, radiation.
Talk a little bit about the symptoms we should look for in any of these conditions.
Well, the most important topic is obviously we were just talking about colon and rectal cancer, and that's one of the things that I always tell people: there is no symptoms. So we really need to at age 50, go and get a scope. You need to do a colonoscopy to evaluate your full colon. Most of the time, if you are starting to have symptoms, that already means it's already at advanced stage. So one of the biggest risk factors actually is age. So at age 50, it's just, I know it's not pleasant, the prep is not very fun, but it is something that needs to be done.
I have heard people say the prep, the things you have to drink the days before, is worse than the actual procedure. Do you find that true?
Yeah, definitely. Most of the people don't enjoy the night before. They're a lot of time are in the bathroom, but the day of the procedure, a lot of times they wake up after the procedure and they will ask, when are we going to start, and it's already been done.
No
so
kidding.
Really it's not that bad at all, the procedure.
The solution that you have to drink, I've heard it's getting better.
there is some, there's different varieties of ones we can use, and yeah, there's definitely better than we used to. We used to have to drink a lot of solution, and now it's there's smaller amounts and even sometimes pills.
Very good. Oh, that would be much better.
Nice.
And then during the surgery or the screening itself, a lot of people are sort of semi-awake, or what's the patient?
Yeah, it's called conscious sedation, so you can breathe on your own, but you are a lot of times unaware of what's going on when you're perfectly safe. Someone's being monitored very closely, so it's very nice. You can actually tell the patient to move, and they can, but they don't remember.
Okay.
So that's great.
That is good. That's the kind of procedures we like, and it's a very preventable cancer if you have those screenings and it's caught early, right?
Definitely. What we're looking for is a lot of times polyps, and those polyps, if not removed, will sometimes progress to cancer. So that's why it's just so critically important to go get them, go at 50 and go get the colonoscopy performed, because it's diagnostic and it's therapeutic. You can remove them with the colonoscopy also.
If you have this in your family, would you suggest they go earlier?
Yes. One of the risk factors along with age is also hereditary. So if your family member has been diagnosed with cancer, especially if it's an early cancer, we ask that you go 10 years early earlier than when they were diagnosed. So if they were diagnosed at 50, you should really have a scope at 40.
Okay, good idea and good advice.
Yes.
Okay, we want to put up the information about the Little Rock Surgical Clinic. Of course, Dr. Burns is associated with St. Vincent, but this is the clinic. If you need to call and set up an appointment, ask more questions about screenings, or perhaps if you think that you or a loved one may need surgery, they can certainly give you some good advice and make an appointment for you to come in and be seen by one of the doctors there. Dr. Burns, thank you for coming in. We appreciate you being here and answering some good questions.